I'm sorry. Yeah.
Hey, Stu Pace, are you back with us yet? He's hiding again.
I don't know. Someone muted me. I've been here the whole time.
So I have a question for you, Stu. You've now been from the Community Bank of Bergen County, then you went to SB1, and now Provident.
I didn't go anywhere. They just kept changing the name on the building.
How was the transitions? Of the 2 or 3 transitions, which one was the toughest?
Oh God, this one.
Okay. Any particular reason, just the size, or?
Two totally different systems. When we merged from Community Bank to SB1, we had the same core provider. So we already knew the system. It was a tweak here or two that we needed to understand, but it wasn't an issue at all. This was a completely different core provider. Some of the information went into the wrong, I don't know what you call it technically, but if a phone number was a cell, it might have gone to a home number, which messed with logging back into online banking and activating your debit card. So
yeah, that could be a problem.
Yeah, it was no National Community into Bank of New York merger, which was the death of me, because nothing worked the morning they clicked everything on, and it took them 2 or 3 days to even get customer information onto the system that we were using. But it was murder here for 3 weeks. 50% could be blamed on the customers for not reading any of the materials we forwarded, over the months before the merger. Like, here's your temporary password for online banking. Nobody read it. So it was just a lot of nonsense that could have been avoided.
How big is Provident compared to what SB1 was, in terms of, 4 times, 5 times?
Provident was 10 billion. We were 2 billion. Now we're 13 billion.
Oh, okay. Okay. How big is Carney, Wayne, Ida?
6.8 billion about.
7 or 8 billion dollars.
6.8 billion.
Oh, 6.8. Okay, yeah, 7 or 8.
And Columbia?
Go ahead, Aileen.
I'm trying to remember exactly. Do you know, Margie? I haven't.
Yeah, we're about 6 billion.
Okay.
6 billion. Okay.
Well, one of you will be in the next Provident.
Hey. All right, why don't we get started? Welcome to everybody, although we've been talking for a few minutes. My name is Stu Herman. I am on the executive board of the Chamber and your moderator for the day. Hosting us and doing this out of the goodness of her heart, although no, she does this for business, is Anupama Kinatukara. She's the CEO and president of, and I can never say that, Anupama ZNDKIN Solutions.
ZNDKIN Solutions.
Oh, you actually say it out. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. She's a certified DISC trainer, DISC trainer, motivational speaker and leadership coach with the John Maxwell team. Leadership roles, the last 15 years, Fortune 500 companies, project manager leading teams across the globe. She will be taking care of us today, putting us in Zoom rooms. She's on the board of the Chamber also, and we thank her for being here.
Right.
One of our new members, actually not a board member yet. Sorry, my bad. My bad. You will be soon, don't worry. All right. Our speakers today, I'll let them introduce themselves, but I'll give you their names and tell you who they are. We have Wayne Cuss from Carney Bank, Aileen McDonald from Columbia Bank, and Stuart Pace, sorry.
That's right.
From now Provident Bank. And I think I'm going to turn it over to our first speaker. And I believe that our first speaker was going to be Wayne from Carney Bank. Wayne, take it away.
Hi, I'm Wayne Cuss. from, as you said, Kearney Bank, and it's wonderful to be here. I'm a business relationship officer, and what makes me a little bit different among my colleagues at the bank is that I only specialize in two services. It's called Z Rent and Z Deposit. Collectively, they're called Z Suite. We're one of about 8 banks in the country that offer those two services, and both are intended primarily for landlords and property managers. And the one product, Z Rent, can also be used for homeowners associations, self-storage facilities, and like boat marinas for slip rentals, and or any kind of business where you're regularly collecting a specifically rent on a regular. It could be quarterly, could be semi-annually, monthly. Anywhere rents or fees are collected. Most importantly, they're both COVID compliant or COVID friendly, if you would, in that they're contactless and they're digital, so they don't require any face-to-face interaction at all, if that's your preferred method. And that's a big consideration in the current, current conditions, current environment. So what are they? Z Deposit moves traditional tenant security accounts, which are typically opened up in a branch, to a free, contactless, and digital platform where everything can be done within that program. So the opening of the tenant security accounts, all the compliance, so the state-specific compliance and the tax compliance, like the W-9s are signed online. We generate the 1099s. We take care of everything. The reporting and even the closing can all be done online. And both Z-Rent and Z-Deposit can accommodate multiple tenants. It's kind of a cool feature. If you're renting at a unit and there's two, like two buddies that rent, if you elect to, the landlord can collect the rent individually from those 2 or 3 or 4, however many there are. Some landlords don't want to do that, but if you want to, it's an option. It's an option. So Z Deposit, when you want to open it, I give you the link, you sign on, and the landlord or the property manager has to fill in. It's maybe like 4 screens of basic information. You know, what's your name? What's the corporate name? The properties are generally LLCs. Who owns? The owner's name, social security number, telephone number, address of the property. There's the beneficial ownership, which is a federal requirement since mid-2018. And then you go to the tenant section. So in the tenant section, you punch in their name, their address, and most importantly, we need their email address because all our communications with the individual tenants are going to be via email. What else do we need? And some terms of their lease. What was the opening date and the closing date? How much rent do you need to collect a month? And that's really it. And then the tenant, talking about Z Deposit. So then we're going to send them an email. That's why we need their email address. We send them an email stating, like your landlord, the ABC company, is now doing tenant security accounts online, and we need you to fill out 2 documents. Once again, they're all done online, and the signatures are virtual. And all it is we need you to sign the W-9, and we need you to sign the tenant security agreement. And as soon as that's done, we can then upload your tenant security accounts to the online platform. And there's dashboards that are available, and you can look at them. The landlord or the property manager can look at them and see what date the lease expires. If you want to start talking about renegotiating, you'll see the deposits online. You'll see the interest accumulate monthly. And I personally think the coolest feature is when it comes time to close. So you're getting close to the end of the lease, and the tenant's going to leave. So the landlord can go in there and online schedule the tenant security account to be closed. Maybe you want to go look at the property a week ahead of time or whatever. And if you need to take any deductions, there's damage. And the landlord, maybe the tenant security deposit was $2,000, and you're going to keep $300 because they damaged some tiles in the kitchen. So the system will generate a letter, and you can select all the reasons you want. So you would put, damaged kitchen tiles, $300. And if you like, that everything is good, we will generate that letter and send it to the tenant along with the remainder of their deposit. So in this case, I think it'd be $1,700. It goes out registered, which is required by New Jersey. And the remainder, so that $300, the landlord can either have a check deposited to their account, or they can have a check sent to, have an ACH go to their account or have a check generated back to them. And there's also an accommodation in the system. If the tenant's already moved on, it will take their forwarding address as well. So once again, totally contactless. And if the landlord wants to, they can have everything left with them and they can take care of that. Maybe they want to send a personalized letter, or maybe the tenant needs that security deposit quickly. The landlord could elect to have everything sent to them. Z-Rent is very similar in that it's contactless and online. The tenants sign up. If you've already signed up for one product, you're automatically signed up if you elect to use the second product. When you start punching information, it'll pre-populate and you kind of just check that the contact information is correct. And the difference is Z-Rent is entirely voluntary for the tenant. So the landlord can elect to offer this service. And if the tenant says, thanks, I want to continue to send my check, they can do that. There's no requirement by us that tenants use Z-Rent unless the landlord wants to enforce that. That's kind of on their side. So rent payments can be made on a one-time basis or recurring. So if you have, let's say, a 1-year lease and you want to go in from day one and set up your rent to be paid on the first of every month, you can do that. Kind of set it and forget it. And if you go on vacation or you're not around 1 month, you can be secure knowing that your payment's still going to be made. Once again, there's a dashboard you can check to see what rents are scheduled to be paid, if they're scheduled in advance, and what rents have been paid, and it shows the history for the term of that lease. So you can see that all those payments have been made. And both products are free to both landlords and the tenant so Z deposits are free, always free, regardless of where you bank. And the Z rent is always free for 90 days. You can kind of try it out. And if you choose not to bank at Kearney after those 90 days, there's a sliding scale of fees for the tenants that elect to pay their rent that way. For one property, it's $3.99 per tenant per month, payment per month. And it goes down, if you've got 10 properties, it goes down to $1.99. Yeah. So that's kind of the highlights of Z rent and Z deposit. And I think, Rich,
Yes.
I think you're next, right?
Okay. Thanks, Wayne. Thanks.
Certainly.
It's a very, as Wayne said, it's a very unique product. It's only 8 banks in the country have it. So it's, something that, people can, or property owners, property managers can consider, especially in this environment. They don't want to go collect payments from their tenant in person, and it's contactless. And, if the money comes to us, there's no charge. So it's really a unique product. Thanks, Wayne. I'm in business banking with Kearney Bank. What I do is I deal with the lenders. I deal with treasury management. I deal with the branches. I do a lot of coordination with relationships and getting them on board. Just from a lending perspective, we are lending. We are looking to lend money. I mean, some banks may have pulled back, but we are certainly selective, especially like, the 2019 numbers for a lot of businesses probably don't matter as much as the 2020 numbers, because you're lending more on what's going on since the pandemic hit and how your business has been able to come back from it. So the interim numbers, we've been looking at it as is critical. And but if business has been sustained and coming back from the pandemic, we are looking at that, and we are lending, especially on the line of credit side. And we're still doing investment real estate lending as well. So we are in that arena, and we're looking at it also. We are preferred lender for SBA. So we could still look at startups and companies that maybe haven't been in business for 3 years. On the treasury management side, we have again we do have some unique products with Kearney Bank. In addition to the Z Suite, we have what they call an analysis account, which most banks have, but ours in particular is unique, where we have all the treasury management products that larger business, let's say, may need, like ACH services, doing wires online, remote deposit. And, you know, most banks, there's fees associated with those services. But a lot of businesses need that. But what we do is we have, and most banks have earnings credit. They give earnings credit for the balances that businesses keep. And right now in a low rate environment, a lot of banks may give credit of 10, 15 basis points for the deposits. I'm generalizing, you know. We have a 1% earnings credit right now. So for a business that has treasury management needs, you know, they want a scanner to scan their deposits in, they want to do the wires online, they want to, instead of using checks, they want to generate ACH in order to make their payments. You know, we have positive pay, you know, fraud protection. You know, the cost of these services can be offset much more quickly with a 1% earnings credit, because the higher the balances they keep, the more credit they're going to get against those services. So, you know, just recently I've been able to save various different clients hundreds and hundreds of dollars per month, where maybe they were paying $300-400 a month, they weren't paying anything with us. So, you know, that is a unique product that we have that can really be good for let's say medium-sized businesses. And in addition to that, we do have great product for small business, $100 a month minimum, no item counts, no cash counting fees. So, you know, we're a very competitive bank when it comes to business and looking at whether it be a smaller business or a medium-sized business and the services that they have. So I just wanted to mention that, you know, that's one of the unique products we have. And I just also, you know, as I said, I work with the branches. We do something for businesses that you don't have to be a client of ours, but we spotlight businesses every month. So if a business wants to advertise within our branch, maybe they want to put brochures in there, maybe they want to, you know, put some of their explanation of their product or samples or whatever it may be. You know, they can go to, let's say we have the Fairlawn branch, the Woodward branch, you know, branches in our network. You know, they have schedules of businesses that can come in, but for 30 days, we'll advertise a business, no charge, and we'll be able to, you know, get it. If they want to, they can get on a list, and you can either be a client or not be a client. And we'll be more than happy to do it. So you just have to, you know, we can set you up with a branch manager, and they can help with that. And especially in today's environment where, you know, some businesses may be struggling, and may be a good way to, you know, keep the name out there. So anyway, that's my story, Rich Conti, and I'm business banking. Thanks, guys. Appreciate the time.
Okay. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Lots of information. We'll go to our second speaker. I'm going to ask some questions at the end. We'll do that and ask other people if they have questions. Aileen McDonald with Columbia Bank. Aileen?
Excuse me. Good morning, everyone. So I work with Columbia Bank. I have been with them since kindergarten marketing class. I am the #1 tenured employee. I'm there at 42 years. So I have seen Columbia Bank, you know, do a lot of things for the community. Columbia Bank is a very community-minded bank. I have worked with the public fund customers since the inception of our program 30 years ago. And Columbia Bank, as you all know, recently merged with ASB Bank, another very community-minded bank. And so what they decided last year was to make a nonprofit division, which is myself, Rich Graff, and a young man named Michael Laporte. So the three of us now manage the nonprofit portfolio. And the first thing we asked for was a new product that we could utilize to onboard new customers. So we came up with the Columbia Cares account, and what we had asked for was that, you know, a lot of nonprofits are, you know, run by volunteers, and, you know, they're busy. So we wanted a product that would be a hybrid of a checking and a money market, so they wouldn't have to worry about moving monies around and have a less accounts to reconcile. So the Columbia Cares account came out just this year, and as I said, it's got the flexibility of a money market with tiered rates. Under 25,000 is 15 basis points, 25,000 to 50 is 25 basis points, 50 to 249,000 is 30 basis points, and over 250,000 is 40 basis points. This is a true tiered account. So as soon as you get to a particular balance, the entire account will earn that interest. We know that for nonprofits, or well, for most customers, a lot of times moving banks, they don't want to incur a check printing expense. So we have added the first order of any style check free of charge. As the other banks, Columbia Bank has a robust business online banking product. And so any of these Columbia Cares customers that have balances over 50,000, they're entitled to a free treasury management product. And that would include remote deposit capture, positive pay, that's a security feature for screening ACHs and checks for fraud, or ACH origination. So some of the nonprofits have automatically withdrawn from their from people, to contribute via ACH. The most popular, especially with COVID now, is the remote deposit capture, and that's a high-speed scanning system, just like the tellers use in the branches. Our business online banking product also has the mobile deposit feature. So if it's a client that doesn't have a lot of volume, they will sometimes choose just to use the mobile banking deposit, and that is a free service. And we can raise their daily limit up to 100,000. So we've been, very successful with gaining some new business this year with this product. As I said, there's a team of nonprofit people. We keep in touch with our nonprofits. We are, team driven at Columbia Bank. So we are also available to the nonprofits anytime if they have anything that they need or some sort of an issue. And, sometimes our branches are busy because they're servicing, our walk-in customers. So we are available for them. We get involved in many of their events. Of course, this year with COVID, that's changed. We've had some opportunity to do some virtual events with our nonprofits. So we do get, very involved with doing volunteer work at Columbia Bank. So we have a system called Angel Points. And, if a nonprofit needs help with something such as painting, we've done build days, we've done, we've run helped them run all sorts of events by, volunteering. And so every employee does volunteer at least once a year. A lot of us, do a lot more volunteering, whether it's nights, weekends. We're always there for, our nonprofits. So that's very important to them because, a lot of people aren't volunteering, as they have in the past. Something else I wanted to mention is, Columbia Bank did go partial stock a few years ago, and at that time, we created and funded the third largest foundation in the state of New Jersey. So we do grants. We do make grants for nonprofits. They do not have to be a customer. If it's a grant over $7,500, it is decided by the board of directors of our foundation. If it's something under $7,500, those are approved, or reviewed and possibly, approved as they come in. Any nonprofit rather, can put in for a grant every 12 months, whether they are approved or not. So, we're proud of our product. We're proud of the amount of time that we do volunteer, for our nonprofits. sometimes we even do volunteer work for non-profits that aren't even our customers. So, you know, if you have any questions, you know, you can certainly ask me now. I don't know if Margie, you know, has anything to add.
So Aileen, you're no longer at Friendly's?
No.
Okay.
That's how I got my job. Stu Pace and I used to work at Friendly's together. And that's actually the reason why I came to Columbia Bank. I was going to college and working at Friendly's, and I was looking for a full-time job. And a lot of the employees would walk down from the River Road branch. So that's how I was actually hired at Columbia when I was working with Stu.
Okay, thank you, Aileen.
You're welcome.
Was there anything else you wanted to add?
No, but you know, if anybody ever needs, you know, any assistance, whether it be nonprofit, public fund, or anything, I'm always available.
Okay.
And so is Margie. So if you ever need any help, regardless of whether you're a customer or not, you have a banking question or something, certainly reach out to us.
Thank you. Thank you. Our third panelist, Stu Pace, is with the whole letters of different banks, but is now with Provident. Stu, before you speak, Stu, I will remind you that we are recording this.
Oh, then I need to leave. Thanks.
That's why I said it. Stu Pace, folks.
Hi. So I don't know why I got the PPP to talk about, because it's been the bane of my existence since last March. I'm a business development officer for Provident Bank. My focus is not commercial lending as far as my duties here. Yes, I develop relationships with folks who need credit, but that is not my main drive. So bear with me as I go through this, because it's still, for those of you who know about the PPP, it was rolled out last year pretty much without direction to the banks. At least that was our experience when we were still SB1. It was an ever-changing cacophony of information that confused not only us, but our customer base as well. We lent about $76 million in 36 hours, and we capped ourselves at that. This round two that just came out the other day, we're already through our funds, and we've hooked up with a provider to handle the overflow of requests. So this round of PPP includes funds that were not used in the first round of PPP. When the first round came out, they did a second bill, I guess, that threw some more money out there, but evidently not that many people participated in the second push of the first round. So there's $284 billion with some changes to what the expenses are allowed to be included this time. The second draw is if a company had a first draw last year, I don't have to explain the PPP to everybody, right? Y'all know about it, right?
I think so, Stu.
Okay. So the second draw loans this time are for businesses with under 300 employees. The loan limitations have been expanded for certain businesses, but I'm not quite sure what the new businesses are including. The forgiveness for the first round of under $150,000 has begun. I've seen several of our clients be provided with that forgiveness, and I guess there's still information coming out as to what the folks might have to pay or not pay back. This time around, it's a 60-40 split of payroll, but they've included group health benefits this time in the payroll cost. So, you know, your life insurances, disability, whatever your employee benefits are that the company pays can be included this time, which was not included in the first go round. The borrower can choose their covered period, meaning if it's a seasonal company, they can include the payroll when they would have the most people on staff, rather than the months where perhaps you know, they've got seasonal workers that are not working, and the company wouldn't have been able to include payroll prior to that. So it's just, to me, this is just a very confusing program that the government put out. The second draw limitations, 2.5 times the average monthly payroll costs for the year prior to when the loan was received. 3.5 times the average monthly payroll costs and health care costs in the year prior to when the loan was received. It's just crazier and crazier. So if you did have a first round loan, you have to prove that you used up all your first round money to the guidelines that the SBA had. I'm not an expert, so I won't be able to answer a lot of questions about that. I pretty much referred all our businesses up to our lenders, and then of course it goes to the overflow with our third party. This time, 501c3s, housing co-ops are allowed to participate. I guess they were not allowed to the last time. And the limit is 300 employees or less. So hopefully those big corporations that kind of sucked all the money out fast the first time and left a lot of our small businesses squandering. This was really directed for small business, and I think the big corporations found the loopholes and how to get around it. But the most important part of this second round is they have to prove a 25% reduction in receipts comparable to a quarter in 2019 versus 2020. So there's a lot of, you know, the onus is on the customer to be able to prove everything that the SBA is looking for. I understand there's reduced paperwork for the go around this time. We were looking for tax returns and things like that last year. I think they're trying to lessen the burden on the borrower as much as possible for this go around and make it easier to get the applications in. It created a lot of animosity between some of our customers and the bank. I hate to say it, but because the messaging was kind of, I don't know what the word to use is, but we didn't know exactly who to reach out to. And as we were reaching out to people and the money was already capped by the bank, all of a sudden we looked bad because we're telling them to come apply and then we're out of money. So I think the planning this time is perhaps better on our parts. I don't know if you guys experienced the same craziness that we did. Last year, I had to collect all the information from the clients, although I'm not in the lending department. This year, it was this round, it was sent directly to our lenders. So I'm really not in the loop as to who's getting the money and things like that. I don't know if your experiences were the same out there in the other banks in Kearney and Columbia. I suppose not.
Wayne, you're muted, and
Sorry.
Marge is muted. Aileen is not. If you guys want to answer it all.
Sorry about that. I was muted. I was talking. We outsourced the PPP loans now to a company called Loan Source. There's a link on our website to get there, but we didn't have the resources. We had probably about 8 lenders doing all the work last time, and it was a big burden for us. So we now outsource it. You know, we have the link on our website, but we aren't handling them directly for the second round.
Oh, you're not?
No.
Yeah, I don't know what our limit was, but we had a limit again as to what we could lend, and the rest is going out to a third party. And I'll be honest with you, last year, the people that went through the third party got their money a lot faster than the ones that came through the bank. Sad to say, but the process, I guess, was better automated, whereas our lenders, you know, were literally inundated. I was getting emails at 6 a.m. and 1 a.m., depending on who it was, because they were working literally 20 hours a day on these things to try to service the customers as fast as they could, but the outsourced loans were smoother, faster, and once they were approved, the money was in their account in 3 days.
And they're more
Yeah.
equipped to handle it, I think.
Columbia Bank took about 10% of the New Jersey market on the PPP loans last year. We are this year, anybody who's requesting this round now, we have a link that we send to them that is specific to them, for them to go on and get the application started with. Last year,
through
it
the
was
bank,
all
Margie?
hands on deck. Excuse me?
Through the bank or through
Through the
a
bank.
third party? Okay.
Well, yeah, we have a system through the bank that we send it right out to the link goes right out to the people, and they just go on to the link and they just can fill out everything. And people were getting their monies in just a couple days, 2 to 3 days. And it was going right into their accounts. And like I said, it was all hands on deck. People from different departments were working to help with the paperwork. There were people like, I was supposed to be working from home, and I was doing things from home to help out because I wasn't allowed to be here because of the rotation and stuff. It was really crazy last year. This year, they've streamlined it a lot, and they know what to expect a little bit better. So we have the PPP requests coming in. We send them directly to our business development person, and then he puts it wherever it has to go, sends them the link, tells them what they have to do, and he's been really good with them. Yeah.
Well, certainly, yeah. This round went a lot smoother here because I haven't heard from the lenders becoming alcoholics again. So I think last year's experience certainly proved helpful for this round.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And we're still lending for other stuff too. So besides having the PPP loans to worry about, they have the regular lending, because I know I sent up, just last week, we sent up a request for a $2 million commercial real estate loan. We sent up another one, a smaller one for $550,000. So there are still people looking to borrow, commercial people looking to borrow.
We had a fantastic year in regular borrowing last year because the rates are so low.
Right.
Our pipeline was full, and that was the issue. Our lenders, had a pipeline that they were working on, and suddenly everyone dropped what they were doing to do this PPP thing. And so they were splitting time between doing their regular customer lending versus the PPP thing. This year, they selected a group to handle the second round, so not everyone had to handle the influx. So there was a liaison. Our lenders are split up by region, so one per region was handling the PPP, and everyone else covered for them on their regular pipeline too. So, yeah, it was a better round this time. The customers that did receive the money have been forever grateful, and it was a good feeling. I did feel like George Bailey last year when the customers were getting the money. Just the relief that they were feeling was indescribable, something I've never seen in 40 years of banking or working with Aileen at Friendly's. It really, the only thing that differentiates a bank from a bank is the people inside that help the customers, and I had one person scream their head off at me because they didn't get the money, but they didn't provide the information in a timely fashion. And I took the heat, but it was nothing that I could do. They had nothing prepared. We had pushed most people to get their accountants to. I don't know if you saw any of this, but a lot of our clients had their accountants do the applications because, a guy running a garage isn't going to be well-versed in SBA. Regular SBA loans are tragically impossible to fill out to begin with, let alone something you have to rush through to get in the list to get the money. These folks aren't prepared for that. So we had directed most of them to their accountants, and we did for this round as well. I'm sure the accountants.
We found a lot of our small businesses also don't have some of the technology required to submit some of these loans. So it's not unusual for somebody to come running in here. Oh, I need this for my loan. Can you scan it in and email it to me so I can attach it and this and that and the other thing? And of course, you know, you're going to help your customers. That's what keeps you, on their good side. That's what makes them stay banking with you, is to help them out the best you can. And that's what we do. People come in here, we scan their documents, we send them the email. They need help setting up, but a lot of people wanted a separate account for the PPP money. So we were working with them to get accounts set up for the PPP money to go into, so that they could keep their records straight, so they had everything they needed when it came due to start reporting what the money was used for, so that they could get that forgiveness on it.
Right. And the first round, I mean, we were also, a lot of our branches were closed because of COVID. Not only the lobbies closed, but several branches were closed because there were cases within them. It was just a merger of insanity to not have the customers be able to come in the branch, or their branches closed during the time they needed us the most, was really the biggest hurdle we had to overcome.
And it was frustrating to us as well as them.
I was chosen to be a PPP lender for the SBA for this program. So I agree with Stu. The spring was just hellacious. The first round of the funds, people were so thankful. You felt so good working 10, 12-hour days. We worked 7 days a week, including Easter, you know, to try to get customers in.
Yeah,
the second
that's what they were doing.
The second round of the spring was just the total opposite. By this time, people were feeling the impact of COVID, and they were desperate. And it was just absolute insanity. You know, our forgiveness, we've been working on since September. We were one of the early banks to, you know, start doing forgiveness. The SBA has 90 days to disposition those. So in the beginning, we were getting answers in 2 to 3 days. And now, like, for instance, I have a client who applied November 4th, and they're still waiting for an answer. The big difference between, you know, the spring and now, volume-wise, is number one, this program, this time, you must show a 25% loss in any quarter of 2020, or you compare your annual gross receipts in 2020 with your gross receipts in 2019. So fortunately for me, like, I know from my portfolio, I've spoken to 7 clients so far who don't meet the qualifications. So good for them for, you know, keeping their head above water during COVID. I have, unfortunately, a couple of small businesses that, you know, did close this year due to COVID. They just couldn't make it. So that kind of lowered, you know, the number of applicants that I'm currently working with. You know, the SBA makes it difficult because it's a moving target. They're constantly changing the rules.
Yep.
So, for instance, I got an email this morning that there were rule changes made yesterday. I haven't read through it. You know, the other thing with this spring was none of us banks, as Stu said, were prepared. We found out on the news Friday, the same as the rest of the country, that we were going to be SBA lenders. And we had to get started in, you know, like Tuesday. So we, you know, it was kind of like, you know, we made up the process as we went. And there was paper flying all over, you know, email, interoffice, faxes. So it was very stressful trying to, you know, match and get the paperwork. We use Fiserv for our forgiveness and for our application process now. So this application process has gone a lot smoother. I sent the clients their link, and there were some of them who were actually able to get in and do it without even talking to me. Some of the good customers, you know, I sent follow-up emails. Do you need help? Nope, I'm done. And then, of course, there's always some customers, you know, maybe the information didn't match up, trying to get logged in or whatnot, that need assistance. I think that leading up to the opening of this week was more stressful than this week dealing with the clients, because, you know, people were calling like sometimes multiple times or texting an email to find out about the new program. So I don't know about you, Stu, but this is definitely a less stressful period. You know, I canceled my order from Bottle King.
All right, I'm gonna jump in here. I'm gonna jump in here for a minute. I'd like to get to the networking part of this.
There you go.
The only thing that the three of you missed that I'd like to get out for your benefit. Actually, before I do that, Stu Pace asked me about the accounting side. I am not an accountant any longer, but I am a wealth manager with an accounting firm. And you're right, Stu. The accounting side of things was more unknown than not. The SBA first program, the rules, they just kept coming out every Friday with new answers to the common questions. And we would do a webinar the following week with those questions. But so the unknown was, I think everybody got from the conversation that while the SBA had to acknowledge and do a job that they didn't know they were doing until the last minute, that went down the loop. It went down to the bankers and then to the individuals and the those that were associated with. I'd like you each for a second to just tell us where you're located, where are your branches? North Jersey, South Jersey, Florida, New York. So those on the call can get an idea of where they could reach out to you other than you on the phone. And then we're going to go from there to the networking. So I don't want to take a lot of time with this, but I'll start with Stu. You went last, so why don't you go first?
Okay, well, we're the third largest bank, so our branches range, third largest bank in New Jersey. Our branches now range pretty much from almost High Point, New Jersey, all the way down to Toms River. We've got a branch in Astoria, Queens, and a couple out in Eastern PA. So there is 110 branches, I believe, now. And we just opened a brand new one in Wyckoff, so that's our furthest north branch in Bergen County thus far.
Okay. Wayne?
We have 50 branches from northern Bergen County, Old Tappan, or Northville, all the way down to, I think, Winoka Harbor is as far south as we go.
I'm sorry, where is Winoka Harbor?
Winoka Harbor is a little bit south of Toms River.
Thank you.
And we also have 2 in Brooklyn and 1 in Staten Island.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Aileen or Marge?
Columbia Bank, has been in existence for 91 years, and we are federally chartered, meaning we could do business in any state, but we chose just to stay within New Jersey. We have 56 offices spread out from like down in Gibbsboro, New Jersey, not far outside of Atlantic City. And then our northernest office would probably be, I guess, like West Milford. So, in addition to merging with ASB, we had merged with Roselle. So we've got some branch, that strengthened our Central Jersey footprint. So, yeah, we have 56 offices, and we still may be growing.
Okay. Thank you. What I'd like to do now is to ask Anupama to tell us about the, she's doing a program coming up. I'd like her to talk about that. And then we're going to go to networking rooms. We're going to split into 2 rooms. And conversations are totally open. I will moderate one, and I'll ask Tony to moderate the other, or Marge. And so, Anupama, why don't you tell us a little bit about that program and then put us in rooms?
Yes. So I am a leadership coach. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. I'm hosting this virtual leadership event. We have all these speakers who spoke to us from Atlanta in October, and that event is being rebroadcasted on February 12th from noon to 5. So I would like to invite you and your team to join me. It's a 5-hour event, and you get to watch it again for the next 3 days, depending on, like, if you're joining me on Friday, you actually get it for 5 days. So I wanted to let you know that you will really gain a lot by listening to these speakers who talk about their leadership journey and what they have learned along the way. That's all I wanted to share.
Thank you, Anupama. Why don't you give us our invites to a room? I think we'll see how the breakouts room. I'll check in on the other breakout, and if they're going well, we will come back here. So if we don't, I'd like to thank our speakers. I had asked Tony or Anupama to put up.
I have that.
Okay. We'll come back to that if we need to. We have another webinar series continuing. It's going to be on financial planning, coming up on February 25th, I believe. Also a Thursday morning at 10 o'clock. If you have a member of the chamber that needs to, that is in that area and would like to be on the panel, let us know. And Madam President, put on your other hat. Is there anything you'd like to say on the chamber side before we go to our breakout rooms?
Okay, well, I would just like to say that this is one of the benefits that the members receive, is the benefit of getting to meet some of the other people within the chamber as far as members. It gives you a chance to network with the people in specific industries. It gives you an idea. The idea of teaching people financial planning or different things the banks are doing or insurance or whatever it happens to be is to your benefit. So we encourage you to spread the word and have everybody take a look at these. It is part of the benefits of being a member. We are a very how should I say that, involved chamber. We do a lot around the town, and we are trying to get out as much information about different things going on in the town, as well as different things that are available to the members, whether it's events that are happening, whether it's stuff going with loans or grants or what have you. I'm sure a lot of you have seen those blasts that have gone out. Tony does a really good job at sharing all that kind of stuff with us. So I would like to thank everybody for joining us today and for your words of wisdom. Always appreciated. And hopefully we'll get to see you on some of the following ones. Like Stu said, February 25th is the financial planning. And then in March, I believe we have one on insurance plan. So we have upcoming events for everybody as well. We are looking forward to trying to get together some fundraising events, because obviously the chamber needs this to keep us going. So if you have any type of events that you think we can do virtually, please, suggestions are always welcome. So thank you for joining us today, everybody. And I guess, Stu, you're going to take it from here, or Anupama?
I will take it from here. I did not introduce Tony DeLisi, who is our executive director. I don't know if she's muted now. I don't know that she wanted to just say hello. I think most of you know Tony. So I'll throw it to Anupama, and it's all yours.
Yeah, can we take a picture if no everybody don't mind?
Oh,
so that
smile.
smile, please, and let me. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. So I am going to send you all into breakout rooms. I've created 2 breakout rooms. Hopefully I put everybody into the right room. If you have any issues, just message me and I will move you around. But it'll be nice to just get to know each other. What I suggest always when going into a breakout room is I give a couple of things you can get started on to talk. Because sometimes folks don't know what to talk about. So this time I'm asking, talk about 2 places that you have visited outside of New Jersey and 1 place that you would like to visit outside of United States. So if you can discuss that as you introduce each other, and when we come back, share with us, that will be great. We'll have new places to visit.
We're going to do this for probably 15 minutes. We'll come back quickly, and then we'll end that.
Yeah. So I'm going to open up the rooms. You should get an invite to join. So join the rooms, and then when you are in the room, you need to leave. Just leave the breakout room. Don't leave the meeting. We would like you back here for 5 minutes. All right.
We caught you. I'll start. So I've got the biggest mouth. 2 places that I have visited. I'm a Rotarian, so I like to visit different states around the country and join the Rotary meetings. It's always good to walk into a meeting and have people. So I would say that Arizona in Phoenix was one of them. And the other one was California. It was right on the water at the in San Francisco. That was two places that I really enjoyed as a Rotarian out of about a dozen that I've been to. One place I'd like to go overseas. I don't have a lot of places. My family's from Germany. I've been to their little town they came from 3 times, and that's always the top of my list to go back. It's a small town called Kreinrad, north of the Black Forest in Germany. I am our genealogist in the family, so for me, that's it's more personal than sightseeing. Rich, why don't you take it?
Sure, thanks, Stu. Well, last year, what I really enjoyed is went down to spring training for the Yankees and the Mets. I'm a Yankee fan. My son's a Met fan. So we were, we went to the Yankee facility in Tampa, and we went down to Port St. Lucie, for the Mets facility. Plus, I think they also play in Jupiter. So we went to probably about 3 or 4 games.
That I would love to be is also involving with my daughter. She was studying abroad during all this COVID, during the first semester. She was in Barcelona. She was supposed to be there through May, and I was supposed to go the first and second week of May. And I was supposed to go to Barcelona for a week, and then my mother and her husband were meeting us to go on a cruise. I have not been out of the country other than to a couple of the islands, Bahamas, Aruba, but I want to get to Barcelona because my daughter really enjoyed it. She said it was a beautiful place, and unfortunately with COVID, I had to get her home quickly, March 15th. So we all know what happened after that. So travel has been put on hold, but that's someplace I'd love to be. And I want to thank you, Margie, very informative, and Stuart, you as well. Thank you so much for the information that you shared with us. I think that these are just great calls, and I'm hoping that ours goes well as we have it planned with Nick, myself, and Stu Herman. So that's it. And thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you for sharing.
Thanks.
Okay, who wants to go next? Stu, would you like to go next, and then we'll go to Nicholas?
Sure. So what was it? Two places.
You visited outside of New Jersey.
Okay, so I don't have to go through who I am. You all heard that the first time through, right? Believe it or not, 2019, went to visit my uncle, who is 89 years old, in Wisconsin. Dreading the trip because I hate being in a car for more than the 4 minutes it takes me to commute to my office from my home.
4 minutes.
And driving through the Rust Belt and everything was just not anything I was interested in. Got to Wisconsin, and it is God's country. I mean, it was absolutely just like a quilt work of farmland. It was just some of the most stunning beauty I'd ever seen in my life. Having not wanting to go to Wisconsin changed my idea about Wisconsin, though my uncle said, yeah, it's great in July, come back in February when it's minus 40. So I won't be going there anytime during the winter months. And he advised us to go back home via the northern peninsula of Michigan, around Green Bay and Lake Michigan, into Mackinac City in Michigan.
Mackinac Island, right?
Yeah, that's when no cars are allowed.
Yeah, we didn't make the trip over to the island because one of the locals said it's just a tourist trap. Everything that they have over there, we have here, except you have to walk. So let me tell you, it's right at the edge of where Huron and Michigan meet. It is the bluest. You were like in the Caribbean islands if you weren't looking at the city. It was just some of the most stunning well, they weren't ocean views, but they certainly looked like ocean. Some of the most stunning sunsets I've ever seen in my entire life. And having never been that way, my wife and I have decided we would like to go back there and spend a little more time. We were only 2 days in Mackinac. But we absolutely found it to be a beautiful, it's a little resort town in the middle of the Midwest. It was just absolutely stunning.
Nice.
Nice. Thank you.
Can we just
Well,
say
that sounds-
go Green Bay? Go Packers?
Yeah, I'm a Miami Dolphins fan. We drove by the actual Green Bay, not the city. Dipped our toes in the water there, looked at the lighthouses that they have scattered throughout the whole lake region is pretty cool. So we stopped often just to take in the views of the lighthouses, and you know, in the middle of the summer, it is beautiful, lush. The water, I was surprised to find the water crystal clear.
Nice. Nice. All right, that's now on my bucket list. Nicholas, what can you put on our bucket list?
Sure. So
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's see who does come back. Oh, we're all here. Fantastic. I again would like to thank our speakers. We'll talk offline and get some feedback from you. I'd like to thank everybody who attended. As Marge and I both said earlier, February 25th will be our financial planning webinar. And March, I don't know that we picked a date yet, will be our insurance focused. Hope you can all join us. Invite people to come on down with you. And Marge or Anupama, is there anything else I need to add here? What I'd like one of you to do is to put up on the screen the information of our speakers.
Yeah.
So that somebody can see what, if they want to contact anybody. And any questions from our participants, please shout it out. Let me know.
Hold on.
I would just like to thank you for the opportunity to join today. I took away some, you know, good information, and I met some great people. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can you see the right?
Yes,
Yes.
Okay.
yes, we have everybody's info on there.
I would say that Anupama needs to be the facilitator for all of these since she has such knowledge on Zoom and she really does that so well. And thank you for that.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
I agree. I agree. Okay, folks.
If anyone needs a Zoom training, I'm not an expert, but I do pretty good. I'm actually training tonight some Toastmasters members too. So I do Zoom training if you need some basic
That's
training.
nice. Thank you. How about
Thank you.
Microsoft Teams?
What's that?
Thank you.
Microsoft. Oh, I'm
No,
sorry.
I haven't used Microsoft much. Zoom is my expertise.
Good.
Okay. Thank you all for coming. Hopefully we'll see you next month. Have a great day and stay safe.
You too. Thank
Stay
you.
safe, everybody. Stay well.
You as
Bye-bye.
well. Bye.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Right.